Merry Christmas, everyone. Now that I have some free time because of the holidays, I decided to make a video on some points I've been jotting down about defending Christianity in the public forum. This video is going to be some points that I've jotted down to help people that are inexperienced with debate or argumentation or just plain focused conversation on a topic to help persuade or make your points sound better to other people. This video is primarily in the defense of Christianity. Well, a video trying to help people defend Christianity. However, some of the points in this video can be applied to other things, and this is a very bare bones. This video is not for well-experienced debaters or well-experienced argumentative writers and such. This is for someone who is, say, a rookie apologist or a rookie argumentative person trying to figure out ways of helping frame discussions and defend one's beliefs and points. So, here's the first point. You should make sure that you are well read or you have pre-established points before attempting any of this. This may seem like a simple piece of advice for anyone slightly versed in this. However, it's a piece of advice that people tend to forget, and a lot of debaters and people doing arguments kind of just go into conversations half-cocked and fail because they weren't as prepared as they should be. So, make sure that you're well-read, and make sure that you know what you're talking about. If the discussion is focused on a specific part of theology, you should make sure that you've done your research on that specific part of theology. If someone just claims you're being nonsensical without backing it up, or they get very emotional without reason, you're probably winning the argument, and you should keep pressing the point. Usually people get irrational when their worldview is being questioned, and especially when their worldview is being questioned effectively. So, if people are starting to get mad, and they're not actually addressing your points, they're just getting irrationally mad and maybe straw-manning and some such, you are doing a good job, and you should keep doing what you're doing. However, don't let that victory go to your head. We're attempting to convince people of the faith, or at the very least, not make enemies. So if you can become friends with the person you're talking to, if you can convince them, that's even better. But you should at least try not to make them your enemy. And if you do any of those, you've done a lot for the cause. Also, don't throw other people under the bus that are on our side because they fail to meet moral standards that we espouse. We're not in the position of the luxury of canceling our own, because there's not that many of us out there in the public forum anyway. The best thing to do is to address what they've done, maybe give advice for how they can address it and fix it, and not disavow them. You can maybe disavow the action, but don't cancel them. It's not helpful at all. Also, going back further into the theology of the matter, we're in the business of attempting to defend the faith, not someone's interpretation of the faith. We're defending Christianity, not your personal beliefs. There's a clear difference. You can have an opinion on something. However, Christianity is clear on matters, so you should state them as fact. And whenever your personal opinion comes around, you need to make it very clear that it's your personal opinion and not Christianity's judgment in general. Christianity can be viewed as fact because it is fact, it is true, and your personal opinions can be then your opinions based off of those facts. It helps frame the conversation and frame Christianity in a means that is digestible for someone who is very much all about the factual argumentation that matters. Also, further into this, we're defending the gospel because we believe and it is true, not just because we like what's in it and we like what we're hearing. So, attempting to frame Christianity as like, well, it sounds nice and it feels great and stuff, that's great and all, but that's not a good argumentative point. And it doesn't really help anything if someone isn't there for the feelings of the matter. If they're trying to debunk you with facts and logic, you're not going to have a good job trying to give people testimony of your feelings about Christianity. It's just not going to be useful in the matter. Also, we should adhere to standards of old, meaning that we can't allow the modern secular views taint our understanding of the Bible. As in Matthew 24:35, heaven and earth shall pass away, but my word shall not pass away. Meaning that, although things may change, the gospel doesn't. When someone's responding to a point you make and they attempt to move the goalpost, don't allow them to move the goalpost. Or point out that they're moving the goalpost and go back to your original point, because then you can hit that point that you're making and possibly gain a victory. This is a simple point, but it's also a point that I and many others tend to forget. Only focus on what you can actually argue. If you're not versed in the topic, or you're not versed in the topic that's been shifted to, just attempt to reinforce your previous points. Don't make yourself look dumb by talking about something that you don't understand. You may be very good at talking about nothing, but then everyone knows you're just talking about nothing. Do not allow the opposition to degrade Christianity by bringing up the actions of another person or group. And there's one thing that I want you guys to get out of this is we are in the business of apologetics, not apologizing for others' mistakes. Furthermore, if you end up arguing in circles, use this as a means of reframing the discussion. Maybe bring up a point that you are very well versed in, and then go on with the debate or the conversation or the argument. This does help a lot with making the conversation go your way. Also, make sure not to let your opponent do this before you, because it's a tactic that many people in arguments know, and if they do, they will attempt to use it against you. Do not interrupt the person that you are having a conversation with until you can actually dissect the point they've made. It's better to hit them in their weak spots than chip at the armor of their argument. So if they have 3 points, and then the last point that you hear is one that you are very well versed in, you don't know much of anything about the first 2, just bring up the third one. Don't attempt to argue the first 2, because you don't know it, and you may find yourself looking stupid if you're not good at reading in between the lines and learning on the fly. We're not attempting to destroy our opponent with facts and logic. We're actively attempting to undermine the current cultural authority and replace it, or at least make it look wrong, because it is. It is wrong. So we shouldn't be pretending things are going our way. We're not. We're not at the top of the dominant hierarchy here. We are people attempting to fight and climb our way back up to be considered a voice in politics and social standing in the conversation. Christianity has been losing the culture war since the Enlightenment, so we shouldn't pretend that we haven't and that we've won, because we did not win, but we can. And lastly, if you fail gracefully, and you come back stronger. You learn from the mistakes that you made in the conversation or debate or what have you. You learn, you read, you study, learn from your mistakes, and then come back and hit them hard. Thank you all for listening to this video. If you liked it, please subscribe, like. Make sure if you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments, or you can email me at templarmathis@gmail.com. My email is in the About section. Please follow me on Twitter and Instagram. And most importantly, have a great day. God bless.